Okay, so here's a quick little workflow example that I personally like to use to help me get through all my B-roll and just manage it throughout the project. Two things you'll need to do to set this up. I personally like to use my function keys. So you need to go up to your preferences, go to your keyboard, and enable your F1, F2, etc. keys. Aside from that, you'll need to go to your keyboard shortcuts in Premiere. I personally use the Final Cut 7 shortcuts. That's what I originally started out on, so that's what I use. The only one you'll have to add for this example is to open in Source Monitor. Shortcut I personally like to use is Shift O, but again, you can use whatever shortcuts you want for this example or however your typical keyboard layout is. Here's my typical project layout, and here in the footage folder, we have all the cards that were dumped from the shoot. To get started, we'll create a sequence for all this B-roll to go into. Then next, we'll just use card 7 here as an example. Click the first clip. Now using JKL shortcuts to go forward, backward, speed through the footage. We'll set our first in point, out point, hit F10, drop it down into that B-roll sequence. Next I'll hit Shift 1, that'll take us to our project window. Hit the down key. Next clip, Shift O will open it up into the source monitor. Then using JKL again, we'll scrub through, set our in and out points. F10, drop it into the B-roll sequence. And if I want more from this clip, I just scrub further ahead, set another in and out point, and drop it down into the B-roll sequence. Shift 1 takes us back to the project window. Open up the next clip. And then after you get through all your B-roll, you can certainly make more sequence for buckets to organize all your footage, and then just drag and drop from your main B-roll sequence. The reasons that I like using this method in my editing is that it allows me to quickly scrub through all the footage that I deem usable during the edit. If I'm editing an interview, I can quickly grab clips that correlate to what's being said. And then for revisions, if the producer is asking for a specific shot, I can just scrub my selects and swap in the clip that they're asking for. Lastly, if I end up having future projects with a client and they want me to use old footage from a previous project, I can simply import that B-roll select sequence into the new project without having to ever go back through the raw footage. One last tip when using this method is that as I select clips for the edit, I'll simply move them up one video track so that they're marked as being used, so that when I go back through and scrub again, I can just skip over those shots because I know they're already in the edit. And that's it for this quick example of workflow that I like to use for most of my editing projects.